Hey YouTube, and welcome finally to the first of the new MicroPod. Well, we were an hour and a half late, guys. What the hell's going on? Unfortunately, some of these old-time gamers had some technical issues. They didn't quit, and now all I can do is hear myself. What's going on? I can hear myself now. Oh, there we go. That's all sorted. Oh, do you know what? You're coming out of this for a year of doing these Hangout things and these YouTube things, and it just goes to pot. I give up. But anyway, there's me slagging these old timers off, and then I go and do something. Jesus Christ, what the hell's going on? Welcome. Welcome back to the MicroPod. It's great to be here again. A new format, as in I've got some old hats here. I've got Del Poi, who's joining me again, who was a part of the original MicroPod. But I've also got two new guys that are going to be joining me on a regular basis, and I will introduce them in a moment. The idea is to get more people from the community involved in these podcasts. A little bit different to what I do with Drew and eRock8150 or eRock X, as he's changed his name to now, being awkward and changing his name. Still to run the two podcasts together, but as separate entities, as it were, and having people come on this show that are active members of the community, and get them a voice on these podcasts as well, and they'll be joining the three of us. Every time that we do a podcast, we'll have somebody else on. Some quick shout outs before I go any further as well. I want to shout out to a couple of groups, the DX Men of the DX Expansion, of course. Great group. Make sure you go and check them. Some of the guys here are all in that group as well. Awesome group. Yeah, awesome group. Just done a thing with the Tick podcast as well, and they've all joined together, so go and make sure you go and check those guys out. Big shout out to them. Project Xbox, my group as well, used to be the old Microbots group. Go and check them out. Go and drop a like there and join the club. And playbackgaming.net as well, my partner, and Iron Lords podcast as well. Big shout out to them. Make sure you go and check them all out. So yeah, we're here, guys. Bloody hell, we're finally here. It took 2 months planning and an hour and a half to actually finally get it working, but we're here. So first off, I want to just shout out and introduce Del Poi. As I said earlier, he was on the original MicroPod when I first started. So Del, if you want to introduce yourself, mate, we'll all pop off and have a cup of tea.
Yeah, all right, yeah, because you're not going to be that long to introduce yourself. Yeah, I'm Del, and that's probably the easiest way of putting it. Like, the original podcast when it came out 2 years ago. I'm a DX man, and I'm part of the DX Mansions. I always say Masons, I don't know why.
It's definitely an English thing, I reckon.
I just want to give a big shout out to all my family, like all my brothers in like the DX Mansion. And yeah, just basically, I'm a old ass gamer, and this is part of the Old Ass Gamer podcast, I think. We've got a few, apart from Babyface Andrew here, of course.
Babyface. God, if a baby looked like him, you'd slap it and give it back, wouldn't
you? I'll have you know, this face is very smooth.
That's what she said.
Living the dream.
Oh, that's a good opportunity to move over to Andy then, I think. Andy Mac. I did ask him earlier if that was for Big Mac, because I love Big Macs, but no.
I do too, to be honest. They've changed though, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. I can eat more now. I think they've got smaller.
Yeah, not as messy as well.
That's your belt getting loose, isn't it?
Anyway, mate, if you want to give yourself a shout out, anyway.
Hi, I'm Andy Mack. I'm a member of the Mansion as well. Great bunch of guys there, and your group as well, Chris. I'm just a guy who likes to game on Xbox and just hang out, meet new people, game, have fun, that sort of thing.
No, it's good to have you. And finally, I'm not gonna blame him, but he's the main reason we're an hour and a half late. Finally, the Shermanator. Sherman, give yourself out a shout out, mate.
Hey, what's going on here? Let's see. How can I describe myself? Before we started, we kind of their ages. Nobody asked me about how old I am. So, should I reveal that information now, or should I just keep it to myself?
No, how old are you? Go on, tell us. I'd put it to 22, but...
Well, given how long it take you to join, I'd say about 50.
Now, you said 22. You are my best friend the rest of this podcast. Whoever said 50, you would be, if we were on The Price is Right, you would be our grand prize winner.
This is all right. Wow. Okay.
Actually, I'm the senior citizen of the group. I am 54 years old.
I was joking. I thought you were about 40 or something, or 35.
Yeah, I'm 40. Right.
You are my second best friend.
Fair play to you, mate. That's all I can say.
I mean, I did actually know roughly how old Sherman was, and it was the main reason that I wanted him on the show, because it just goes to show how many generations of gaming, and Sherman was a great supporter of the Xbox community throughout all of it, and on the groups and on YouTube, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted him on the podcast. It was one of the he was the first guy I asked, and I thought he would turn me down.
Have you hired some private detective? It feels like you've been doing a lot of electronic research on me.
I try.
Go away.
I just want to say I'm really honored that you even approached me, because as with most of us, we do what we do as far as we get together, we game, and we hit up all these different websites, and we participate in social media, and you really don't think that anybody's really paying that much attention. But when you hit me up, I was kind of flattered. So no, I'm not trying to kiss your ass. I'm just saying that I really appreciate it.
No. I appreciate the fact that you said yes. So I mean, everybody that I approached, I did not have anybody turn down. The three people I wanted on here all said yes. So perfect.
Yeah. The thing is, though, there's no real age, age category for gaming.
No, there isn't. Everybody does it.
I mean, you've got people who go to like parks and play chess, and they're in their 80s. They're still gamers.
Yeah, of course they are.
My mum, she's she's not around, so I can say this, which is good. She's 67. If I said that while she was around, I'd get a clip round here. But I mean, she's still gaming. She plays on a Nintendo 3DS all the time, like on mobile, like tablet games, everything. And she was the one who got me into gaming when I was free. So, you know what I mean? It's all sorts, mate. That's a great thing about gaming. It brings everybody together.
Definitely. I mean, it's my grandfather that got me into it when I was sort of 5-6 years old. It was his fault. It's his fault all this happened.
Well, since we're talking history, as far as what or who got us in, I would say it was my aunt. God rest her soul. My aunt in Florida. I was probably about 9 or 10 years old. And she was so cool. She took me to an arcade, and back then, maybe I should there were no video games, no machines, So it was one of those type of deals where I walked. She took me in there, and she was like this pinball wizard. And I was like, just totally in awe. And so she gave me a quarter and said, go for it. Just play whatever game you want. And I'll never forget it. It was Elton John. It was the Captain Fantastic.
No.
And be about a half hour. And that was it. And I've been hooked ever since.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Those are the days. I mean, what got you into it, Dale? What was your story with getting into gaming?
Well, I just said, man, like, I mean, it was my mum, but I think Andrew's not mentioned how he got into it. How did you get into it, Andrew?
Well, I think, you know, you look at all these things going around like the shops and everything, and you go, I want to play that. You know, it's, I
just want to play that.
Yeah. Well, my dad bought an Amstrad, and
Amstrad. I had. Oh yeah, I remember the Amstrads.
I mean, we had that, and I can't remember what game it was, but me and my brother would be playing it when it was a rainy day, and we'd be playing that. My brother used to like the game with the blocks with the ball, where you've got to hit the blocks out and
yeah, it was called Wipeout, because it had a thing. You go like across the bottom of the screen, you bounce the ball up.
Yeah.
I mean, the original was called, I don't know whether the original was called Wipeout or was it Arcadia. I think it was Arcadia.
Was it Breakout?
No, Breakout. That's it. Breakout.
Or there was one called Arknoid as well.
Yeah, they did loads of variations, but yeah.
I got no idea because I was really, really crap at that game. We'd be playing 2-player, and I'd have like the bigger block at the bottom, and my brother would have a smaller one, and we would still lose. I'd still like totally drop the ball in like the bottom of the screen. It's like, can we play a different game now?
Those were the days when it took about half an hour to load up an actual game.
That's right.
Yeah. Those were the days where you had to get your dad to actually tell you how to load the game up.
You knew you were hardcore gaming when you'd wait half an hour for a game to load so you could play it.
And then it starts all over again.
But after that, we got a newer computer, and it didn't even have Windows 95 on it.
I just exhausted it, yeah.
And we'd get this guy. We'd get this guy out. He would give us a copy of Windows 95, and then from there we had like
on a floppy disk.
Yeah, I think it was a ROM then.
Oh, was it? Wow. Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it was my dad had my dad worked all over the world, and he went to America one year and brought us back Ultimate Doom. And it took my dad about six months to know how to install it, because it was an American copy and all that. And then after that, it was like, this is ace. And it was like I was trying to game on it every time it wasn't raining. It's like, come on, turn the computer on. I want to play Doom.
That was a great system. I mean, the Amstrad was your first system then, you say, Andy? So what would that have been about? Was it a new one, or did you have that from? I was just trying to think when they came out. It was about 86, I think, 87.
Yeah, it was just after the Spectrum, and then when Amstrad, then it was the Commodore and the Amiga. Remember them, like, and then built up from there. I mean, mine was a ColecoVision. Mine wasn't even around when I was born. Like, basically, like, I think my mum saved an old one from just the pre-80s, and then another one came out, which was I think it was the ColecoVision, which had the colour. But yeah, playing Pong. That was my first game, Pong.
Sherman, I mean, obviously you're sort of, well, I was going to say sort of closer to my age, but I suppose you are compared to the others. But I mean, what was your first system, mate? What was the first one that you had?
So what are you trying to say, Chris?
What was it? Ball in the cup?
Well, let's see. So, seeing that we're kind of like mentioned this before we went on the air. Our gaming resumes. Well, let's see. As far as what got me into it, like I said, my aunt. But as far as like my very first system, oh wow. Let's see. Well, I gave myself away age-wise. So, as you can imagine, that probably means, if you do the math, that I remember when video games were invented. Well, not entirely, but close. My very first system was, let's see if you guys remember this name. The Sears, what was it called? The Sears Telegame system.
No way, I don't think I've heard of that.
No.
The reason why
I didn't even know Sears made system.
Okay, so here's a little video game history. The Sears Telegame system was the Atari 2600 before it was called the Atari 2600.
Right, yeah, because the names would have been like obviously different over in the States than they were over here. Because we got the Atari, the 2600. I remember that.
Right, so that was my first console. Although, like I think it was maybe a year later, because Sears had like an exclusivity deal with Atari. They had a year jump before everybody else at retail got it. So when they released it to everybody else, then Sears couldn't hold on to that name anymore, and then that's when it became here in the States, the Atari 2600. But yeah, that was my very first gaming system, and I was just like, I was in love. I mean, I just couldn't get enough of that system. In fact, my father, I was every free moment. I was always on that 2600, and I remember he had one time he sat me down because here I am. I'm like, I don't know, maybe 11 years old, and when I wasn't studying, my homework, and when I wasn't practicing the piano, because I'm also a musician, so I'm classically trained. I had to practice the piano for 2 hours a day. And so by the time between home practice and eating dinner, the only thing that was left for me to do before I had to go to bed was I got to play that Atari 2600. And so he sat me down and had this, like, it was an intervention because before interventions became the thing. He sat me down.
Did you invent him? Did you invent those then? Was it all you?
I think somebody owes me some money.
Yeah, I think you should have copyrighted that.
He sat me down and goes, "Now, son, there's nothing wrong with you playing those games on the TV. But don't you think that you might want to develop some other interests? Because you're always, I mean, he was serious. I'm looking at him like, what? I mean, I'm just having fun." And so I had to convince him, like, oh, I'll grow out of it. And that was not my intent at all. And now, fast forward to now, I lied. There you go. But yeah, that was my system.
I used to love Millipede on that system. That game Millipede was brilliant. Basically, Snake. I think I remember.
I tell you what, I bought one of those Nokia phones just to play Snake.
Snake's awesome. Classic.
Right?
Best £130 I've ever spent.
Especially considering that they kept coming out with new versions of it, and they just never seemed to be as good as that original one.
Nah, never. It's like with Tetris as well. Like, I mean, I still play Tetris to this day, and they've come out with so many iterations of that. And to be honest with you, the Game Boy version's the best one.
Yes, it is.
That's the one I prefer. Like, but
not all the gimmicks and shit. It's just straightforward Tetris.
Yeah,
So it should be.
Keep me. Anyway, was a good delve into like our actual past game, and that was brought back some good memories. That
Yeah, definitely. Oh my god! I mean, my first was the Atari 2600, but after I had the Atari 2600, I mean, you guys will probably all remember. Do you remember the old Spectrums? I had a ZX81.
Yeah, I had the ZX.
Yeah, I mean the ZX81. I mean, I thought that was incredible. I'd spend hours programming and writing games on that. But I mean, it was black and white. There was no sound. You know, you didn't have all this sort of 4K and 1080p bonnets going on in those days.
That's what's crazy about now. It's like, in a way, I'm jealous that all the youngers, all the kids and that, coming, growing up, they're actually experiencing something that we never thought would be like the way it is. Like, considering, the first game I played was basically 3 blobs on the screen.
Yeah. I mean, people don't understand, technology has come leaps and bounds since, the early days of gaming.
It's gone stupidly fast as well, considering, the amount of...
Yeah.
I mean, you can play Sonic on your phone, for Christ's sake. I mean, you know.
Oh, yeah, because Sega released all the things, didn't they?
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Wow.
It's just madness, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is stupid. I mean, mobile phones now are more powerful than some PCs. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah. It makes me laugh when they go, I'm going to buy this phone because it's got a really good such and such for gaming. And it's like, haven't you got a high-end PC as well, mate? And they go, yeah, so.
But anyway, what topics are we going to cover tonight? Then?
Yeah, so what are we going to cover? Right. Well, I think the first thing we're going to cover is what's happening with the Xbox One damage controlling at the moment. There's a lot of anti-Xbox One sort of websites and media sites popping up all over the place at the moment since the X has been released. I mean, what's that all about?
Fear.
Right, that's the rest of the podcast sorted. We're just going to talk this now.
The funniest thing I've seen recently, when they first got announced in E3, there was of course loads of damage control from all the PlayStation players, and this isn't to try and stoke a console war or anything in the comments, whatever. But there was a lot of damage control, which is obvious because it happened when the Pro was releasing and stuff, and people were saying, "Oh, well, it's not going to be that good." But the funny thing that I've noticed is, as it's got further and further away from E3 and closer towards the launch, now it's not actual PS4 players that are damage controlling; it's PC players.
Yeah.
Why are you damage controlling? The PC is the top end. That's you can do anything with it. Yet they seem to be worried about a console. Yet they don't care about consoles. Okay.
First of all, let me just say that everything that you guys are talking about, that has to be a European phenomenon. We don't have those problems here in America. You guys believe? Wait, so are you guys saying that I got that much clout over here that I could just say whatever craptastic thing and you'll buy it?
No, it's just with the any type of media outlet you go onto that's got any story about the Xbox One X, you go into the comments section and it's just absolute. It's so salty. It's worse than the Red Sea. It's just pure salt.
Yeah.
It's got more salt on it than a McDonald's meal. It's
I saw a YouTube video, and then this guy was obviously a PC guy, and he goes, "I'm not going to get it because I can play that on PC. It's not worth getting." And I'm like, "So why are you telling us this for?
Yeah.
Why do we need to know what your thoughts are if you're not going to get it and it's not interested you in any shape or form? It's like just watch something else."
So social media, unfortunately, even though it's brought us all together, it's also given a voice to a large majority of morons. They have to say these things. It's like you don't have to justify yourself to us. We don't care. You know what I mean?
Well, In all seriousness, I have a theory about this, and the thing about it, and this is it's just a little bit advantageous that I'm older because I've actually seen this before. I mean, every console generation has something like this that takes place. Although each new generation it gets worse and worse. So, in regard to PC, as far as the master race, PC,
yeah, master race. Yeah, we had that a lot.
I believe that a lot of these folks that hit the social media site and they're talking about, oh, like you just said, I'm not going to get it because I'm just going to game on my PC. I really believe, and it's just a theory, but somehow I think I might be right. I really believe that a lot of these so-called PC gamers that are showing up just to hate on the Xbox One, it's always going to be the Scorpio to me, so I'm just going to say it.
Feel that name. Yeah.
People on and hate on the Scorpio. I really believe that a lot of them, I think they are really PlayStation fans. See, for years, as we all know, they stood at the mountaintop, just shouting power, more power.
Yeah.
And now they don't have that to talk about anymore.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
They can't get this power angle anymore. And realistically, that's why they've been changing the narrative. Like, oh, well, Xbox doesn't have any exclusive. Actually, that's not true.
Yeah.
Especially over the past 3.5 years. I mean, Xbox One, you guys remember, we had way more exclusives than Sony had for the PlayStation. Sony, their PS4 was all about we have the best multi-platform games, blah, 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 whereas Xbox One had more exclusives. Well, now the narrative has kind of changed a little bit, but Sony now, they want to harp on that. But as far as they know they don't have a leg to stand on. So what can they do? They can switch their narrative and pretend that they're PC gamers now because most of us, I've got a PC, you guys have PCs, and so it stands to reason that the majority of the PlayStation fans have PCs. So of course they're like, well, you know what? Use the PC and Xbox One.
Do you know what? I actually didn't think about it like that before, Sharon, but that's a very good point. It could be a lot of undercover PS4 fans who are thinking, right, well, I'll have to step up the game and I'll say I'm PC. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's a good point, actually. I think about it like that before.
I think the damage control is because for so long they've had the upper hand of basically higher hardware specs than the Xbox, and when you've got so much power to brag about and then you lose it, they just go into meltdown, don't they? I mean, they should be going, fair play, Xbox, you've really upped your game, but no, they're just saying stuff to stop people from enjoying an upgraded system, aren't they?
I mean, that's the Xbox way. The Microsoft team would be doing that. They'd be saying, I mean, they congratulated.
They did as well. They came out and said, that's great. You know what I mean? At the Pro, Phil, there's obviously Phil, Mike Ybarra, Aaron Greenberg, they all admit that they play on all the systems. They don't care. They're gamers. So they're happy, that's playing whatever. And it's funny how Microsoft are the ones who, after, it's not even reached out on all his branches. It's just just a general thumbs up to say good job, guys, but none of it's coming back at all. It never does. I don't understand that. It's weird.
You don't need to. Don't need to. You need to. They need to realise that. Hang on, they're gamers. We should be following suit here, and we should be like, you know what? If you want to play Xbox, you play Xbox. If you want to play PlayStation, you play PlayStation. None of this fanboy, oh, mine's better than yours shit, because it's really, really boring, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, that's to me, that's just playground shit. You know, that's like
Yeah.
kids doing a playground. Oh, my dad's better than your dad. Not something like that bollocks. I mean,
Yeah.
where this is coming from, I really don't know.
I didn't have a dad, so I couldn't play that game.
Well, just say you did from now on, Steve.
I did, but to be honest. Well, yeah. Army language, need a big
guys, here's one of the things that just kind of straight is the fact that this type of, like Chris said, that whole playground attitude, it doesn't really help the industry.
Oh, no.
At the end of the day, you know, look, let's be honest. The video game industry, we all know this, for at least 10 to 15 years. The video game industry is a multi-billion, with a B,
a
multi-billion-dollar a year industry. So, with that in mind, why is it that other entertainment industries or other industries in general, they still, like, you know, they look at the video game industry and they look at gamers like they're second-class citizens?
Yeah.
And the reason why is because of this whole fanboy crap. You know, until you don't see, and I would argue the point that they're just as competitive. You don't see the automotive industry behaving, and you know, you've got people who love Ford Motor Company. They preferred Fords over General Motors, or Volkswagen over Nissan, or, you know, I mean, the list goes on and on. You don't see their devotees just having meltdowns when Porsche comes out with this ultra super quad turbo 18.7 0 to 60 in half a second, as opposed to, you know, a Ferrari that can do it.
Yeah.
You don't see people who prefer Big Macs over the Whopper.
I do. I prefer the Big Mac.
I mean, those industries off of health competition. For some strange reason, teams have been around, and it's frustrating to me that when it's like we're stuck in a time loop, because from the outside looking in, for folks that don't game, when they hear about, like, all type of rivalries and this stupid, like you said, playground stuff, I mean, it just, they look at us like gamers. I heard somebody the other day say, you know, most video gamers just like 380-pound guys that are sitting in their mama's basement and pizza all over the floor, and they have no life. You know, I mean, it's part of the stupid fame stuff. And personally, I'm just so it's annoying to me. I find it extremely adolescent, and still everybody. This is one of the reasons why I really like Field Speaking. I know I'm not in love with him. I don't want to ask him out, but I really admire the guy, because, you know, he could easily do his predecessor, Don Metric, and just, you know, just be a total jerk and drive home that narrative. I mean, now, don't get me wrong, I'm not hating on Metric, because he actually did some things to push the 360, you know, in the limelight. But as far as the here and now, you know, like you said, Phil Spencer will call Conte, the American head of Sony, of the PlayStation arm, congratulate them for, like, great sales or a new gaming IP.
They always do.
I think Sony is usually responsible for that. They drive that narrative.
The only issue with Phil Spencer is he says something and people take it in the wrong way, don't they? I mean, it's like, oh God, Phil, you've just caused a right stir on Twitter now.
Can't do what we're doing wrong, you know what I mean? It's just like, but that's unfortunately part and parcel of the game that's been like made out for everybody to play, really. Unfortunately, that's just the way, you know, it rolls.
I remember when he came out at E3 and everyone was like going, Phil, like this, right? And then like a few days later, people were saying, everyone was like not impressed with Phil Spencer when he came out, and I was like, what were you watching?
Yeah, exactly. They weren't watching what we were watching, were they? Jesus
in a couple of days.
Someone shouted, "I love you, Phil," and I just pissed myself laughing. I really did.
You're right. I heard that. I actually heard it too. I mean, it was almost like it was an episode of Real Time with Bill Maher or something. I mean, they were just like, I was actually shocked because when we were doing the messenger thing, and you were saying that this was your first time really sitting down and watching E3.
Because I was always asleep, or at that point in my life, I was just either, if I wasn't sleeping, I was video gaming, and I wouldn't be listening to a 20-minute video or a conference, for instance. I wouldn't, you know, give my attention to it. I'd just rather be sinking into a good game.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No. I was going to say. I mean, I don't want to say what I was going to say because it changed the subject. So I'll let you two carry on a moment.
Yeah.
What I was going to say was, you know, whereas this year was your first year, I'm one of those cats where every year I watch them.
Yeah.
And you know, some years are great, some years are just total, just in the toilet. This year was really good. I mean, I watch the Sony ones. I mean, even as far back, of course, it's easier now thanks to the advance in technology. I would like try and catch. Well, and I probably shouldn't say this, but I would like back in the day. I had some friends that would go to the E3s, and this was back when the Sega Dreamcast was out. You know, and they would video game. I mean, they would videotape the sessions while they were here, and then they would come back, and I would, you know, I'd get the tapes, and I threw it in. And I've just always been really into like, okay, trying to get the advanced scoop of what happened. Some of them were like, you made the right choice to just go ahead and game or go to sleep because some of them were just terrible. They were just boring.
Yeah.
Really good. Now, I will say this as far as watching both of them in recent years, watching the Microsoft ones, the Nintendo ones, you know, the EA, Ubisofts, the Sony ones. I'll be honest with you. I think one of the reasons, and this feeds back into the earlier narrative that we were talking about why are Sony fanboys tripping. Yeah. I think that a lot of them are in panic mode because of what they saw at this year's E3. This year's Sony E3 was one of the worst I've ever seen. I mean, it was bad. And I'm not just saying that because I prefer Xbox over PlayStation. Honestly, we got PlayStation and Xbox, and that has nothing to do with it. Sony one this year was off, and I think Sony gamers, they recognized that it was off.
I never watched it because, first of all, I don't own a PlayStation, so I'm never going to play the games, and I just can't justify playing a PlayStation just for a few games of their exclusive range. You know, just to say I've played them. It's like it's a lot of money, isn't it? I mean, I haven't got space in my room. You know, I haven't got £350 to spend just to play 2 games or something. I mean, majority of my library is multi-plats. But it's not the end of the world, though, is it?
Unfortunately, I got a refurbished PS4 because I wasn't going to pay Sony any money. I know that sounds really bitter. So I can't sell mine on, and I've only got 3 games for it, and I got it in 2014.
That's 3 games too many, Delpoy.
But I've got to admit, though, like one of the games, and Until Dawn, it got slated by everybody else. I love that game because it was just like basically you're playing a horror movie, but that's just because it seemed cool. Yeah.
Thing is, though, it doesn't really matter what platform you play these games on, as long as you enjoy them. I mean, the fundamentals of gaming is fun, isn't it? The key word in that word is fun.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, but I've got to be honest, I felt dirty afterwards.
Thing is, though, Andrew, you mentioned then, obviously, the main fundamental of gaming is fun, and I completely agree with you. And it's because I agree with you that I say what I'm about to say, and I do apologise if it sounds like a rant or I'm going to trail off into some unknown depths.
Oh, but, God, he's in, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello, I'm the Welsh Gamer. I'm here. But basically,
like, the door?
These PlayStation ponies and stuff, like, they're having so much fun on their systems that all they do is talk about their system on Twitter. And it's just, you can't help but think, like, how much fun, you know, keyword here, are you actually having over there at the Sony camp if you're so busy trolling Xbox gamers for what they enjoy?
These ponies, right, they obviously only play their single-player exclusives, don't they? So when we're playing other games with fantastic multiplayer aspects, you know, we're playing
quality and longevity.
Yeah, they're running out of games to play because I know exactly. I used to play on PlayStation 3, and I never played online because I couldn't play online because it was that shit. I couldn't even play Call of Duty.
So no, it's true. It's true.
All I did was play single-player games. Single player games, right? Once you've completed them, you run out of things to do, and then they go, I know, I'll be a twat and troll someone on YouTube on Twitter.
No, it's the simple truth of the matter. I mean, people can absolutely slate Xbox and its library of games and say, oh, all you have is Forza, Halo, Gears. But I've said it before and I'll say it again. Name one exclusive over at PlayStation with the same level of longevity as Halo or Gears or Forza. I mean, Halo and Gears alone are the gifts that keep on giving. Like, since launch, it's a whole different game. You've got so many game types, infinite amount of maps, all free, by the way. Yeah. People are still playing it. It's just.
Wait until the 4K update hits when the
exactly.
Update for Gears, you know, all these games that we're still playing, and they're going to be improved.
The real gamers of PlayStation are the ones that play the multiplats. You know, because they aren't commenting on your YouTube channels, are they? Because they don't care. Because they're too busy enjoying themselves, aren't they?
Oh yeah.
I'll be honest. I'll be honest with you guys. I've had the pleasure recently of meeting quite a few PlayStation fans who have both systems, All Day Digital being one of them, Jay Fonzarelli. There's a few that like pretty big names, like a few of the people that are over on the RDX podcast with Dealer, and they don't say a damn thing. They don't argue with you. They don't troll you. They just enjoy it and move on. And that's what I like. That's the difference between, I suppose, an actual gamer who just appreciates the system but doesn't throw it in your face, and these troll-ass pony fanboys who have nothing better to do than troll you. They might play 5 minutes a month on their PlayStation, and the rest of their time spent is just trolling. And that, for me, is not a gamer by any stretch of the imagination.
Well, they only do that because they've got no mates, and that's it. They got no mates.
Wow.
They come out of these caves, man, and they need attention. It's like, what's your what's your problem?
Suicide watching like Andrew would talk like that. Oh, nobody loves me.
But no, I mean, like those two names I mentioned, like All Day and Fronzarelli. I mean, they're such level-headed people, and they're fans of PlayStation, and it's absolutely fine. Like me and Micro have said before, I don't care what system you like, but don't tell me I'm wrong for liking my system.
I had a guy saying to me, he goes, "You're just justifying your preference," and I just thought, what? Why do I need to justify my preference for? You don't even know the reasons behind my preference in the first place.
No, it's true. End of the day, that's all that is literally all I see on my Twitter feeds is buyer's remorse from the ponies, constantly copy and pasting their lists from Wikipedia, like constantly trying to justify not only to themselves but to everyone else that, yeah, man, god damn it, yes, I bought the right system for myself. and it's just like, it's like, get a grip.
Well, the thing is though, this post on Instagram, it was about this guy went to America and he actually bought like the American Xbox and PlayStation 4 controllers, and this guy said, "Oh, that's the only thing useful you've got for your Xbox," and I just went, and it's useful for your PlayStation 4, and he just totally went off on one.
Oh Jesus! Well, was it Future Kills? I think I'm just going through the comments section in the chat. No time to game 62. He brought up an interesting point, that the fact that a lot of the shit that the Xbox One X is getting at the moment is because it's not doing true 4K, which is what Microsoft have said. But although it does do 4K, but a lot of the games that are coming out are going to be checkerboarded or whatever. But
they're all he said from the beginning though, didn't he? He says it's up to the developer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's what I was just about to say. And Flip Money said the same. You know, at the end of the day, if the developers are being lazy,
he said from the beginning though, didn't he? It's up to the developer.
Yeah. Has Andrew fallen down that mountain?
I think he's fallen down. Oh, where are you going, Andrew?
The thing is, though, I'm hearing my voice back to me as well, so it's really weird.
Oh my
god! Now you know what we have to go through.
Let me ask you. I just want to get you guys' opinion on this. So, like, as far as Phil Spencer's mandate, lack of mandate, probably more accurate. As far as third-party companies, leaving it up to them. If they want to use all the horsepower to screw people, they can. If they want to make it true native 4K, they can. But they don't have to. They don't want to. Yeah. I just want to know what you guys feel about it. Do you think?
I mean,
the rule has got to be native 4K, 60 frames per second. Do you think he should have made that a hard fast rule?
I think the problem that would have happened if Phil actually said that, right, we wanted this, we wanted that, is exactly what Sony's problem was, because at the end of the day, even though the PS4, the visuals, they managed to hit the resolution, the frame rate suffered because of it. So with him not mandating it, he's actually he's left it in the ball in their car, and they can actually use that power for you can get the best frame, a steady frame rate is perfect for most games. You want a steady frame rate because you don't want your whole entire immersion in the game going. I mean, if it came down to it and they said, right, well, we can give you 60 FPS on first-person shooters, that's what I'd want. And then they say, but we can only do it 1080p, but we can give you 4K assets. Yeah, I'd be happy with that. But if there's other games, obviously with Crackdown at the moment, we've got it's going to be 4K, 30 FPS. Now, loads of people are sort of hung up on this 30 FPS, and I'm sorry, but it's a third-person game. I don't think that third-person games have to be 60 FPS. They don't have to be. Now, the multiplayer we've not seen yet, which hopefully at Gamescom, that's what they're going to save it for. And we're going to see the multiplayer, and they might actually show that at, say, the 1080p, resolution, but with 4K assets and a solid 60 frames, because basically, they want to make sure that it's a completely smooth ride, because you're going to have to be blowing up so many buildings and stuff, and obviously that's where the cloud computing comes into it. So I've got a feeling at Gamescom that's going to be the mic drop moment where they're going to show you the multiplayer at the end, and then they're going to say, here's the pre-orders for the game. Oh, by the way, if you pre-order now, you get a copy of Crackdown free. I reckon that'd kill it. Everybody want it. The people with 1080p TVs would want it because they know that they were getting those 4K assets. You know what I mean? The good thing that has been brought up recently, in some posts I've seen in the DX mansion, is the actual stores on Xbox now are actually coming out, and they're officially putting 4K Ultra HD, HDR, and Xbox Enhanced on the actual games that you can buy from the store. So more and more the publishers are coming out and doing it. More the devs and publishers. So that to me is a really good step. I mean, it started with Star Wars Battlefront 2. I was sold after the EA play because that game looks phenomenal to me now. And that's going to be Xbox One enhanced. So I reckon that's going to be 1080p. It'll be 60 frames, but you'll still get the 4K assets. So to go back to sorry, I rambled on a bit there, but yeah, I understand what you mean.
No.
I think
I thought this was the MicroPod, not the Delpoy show.
I was warned about him.
Yeah, but what he's saying is right, though. I mean,
go back to what Sherman was saying, the way they've got the power now, he's given it over to the developers. It's in the developers' hands, and I think it's a clever move because it doesn't put any pressure on film. It's on the developers now.
Yeah.
It should have been from the start, really.
What do you mean? That I should have just kept it short and said it's on the developers and just left it at that.
Do you guys feel that I think his name is Jim Ryan? Remember what he said at where he was saying, Phil Spencer saying developers. Well, the developers, in so many words, he was saying they're going to take the easy way out. They're just going to make it the same as the pro, and you will see that much of a difference. Do you think that basically, personally, if I was a developer, I would have felt dissed because basically he was saying that all developers are lazy.
Yo, Sherman, I think your mic's broken, mate. I could barely hear you then. Was anyone else receiving that choppy, or is it just me?
Yeah, no, it is a bit choppy. He's not got the best mic at the moment, but we're struggling on this evening.
He's got so many headsets, Drew. It's
yeah, he's got 18 headsets.
I thought it was funny he talked about headsets when he actually posted on Project Xbox about the new Sonic headphones.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep it to myself. You guys.
All right.
Very barely on my side.
Yeah. It is a bit choppy.
It seems to have got worse because it was quite loud earlier, wasn't it? And you might have left the odd word, but you could.
Okay, let's see if he can fiddle about with his headset. If we carry on rolling with it. I mean, who else here? Because I know I'm really excited. Who else is really excited for Cuphead?
Oh yeah.
I've bought it off the store, and I'm going to buy it. I'm going to buy it on disc as well.
Oh yeah.
All right, you buy it on disc as well. Oh yeah, I bought it on the store. I mean, obviously a lot of people complained about it, like taking so long, but at the end of the day, they had to animate the whole thing.
Yeah, and they've actually changed it a lot, haven't they? I mean, originally it was just going to be sort of boss style gaming, wasn't it? But they've actually made it into a full game now. So
yeah.
I mean, was it E-Rock said it was talking about it a few months back, and he was talking about it's been drawn, hand drawn.
Yeah, it's all hand drawn. Yeah, everything's hand drawn.
Animated.
I heard that because when Scalebound got cancelled and they brought up Cuphead, and I was like, Cuphead. You know, it's like, can you really like, harden the fact that we've got all these other games in development? And I heard that it's every frame is being drawn.
Yeah.
And then recently they said these developers have put their houses on.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah, they remortgaged the homes and everything.
Anyone who hears that, they should be jumping on Cuphead straight away. I mean, no one helps each other these days. Like, help these guys out.
Definitely. That's the thing about supporting, like, obviously, these exclusives, like, which a lot of people say that we don't, but, like, I'm sorry, like, the amount of, like, Xbox, like, gamers that I know who support, like, all the exclusive, which is right.
Yeah. And this is the reason it's pissed the PlayStation gamers off as well, because Sony put Microsoft and Phil Spencer supported this game so much they've turned around and said, no, not coming on Sony, not coming to PlayStation.
That was sort of a good nail in the coffin to that argument completely.
Yeah.
But I mean, the one thing that I've said, like, in the group, like, recently, and this is, like, definitely what I feel about the game, is I love it. I love the art style, like, because I've always loved, like, animation from being just a young kid, especially, like, how it's 1930s type of style. But I'm going to find that game so challenging, not just because it looks challenging, but because when I'm playing it, I'm going to feel like I'm watching a cartoon and I'm going to drift off. And I realize I'm playing the game because I was like, wow, this is a cool cartoon. It's all shit I'm playing. You know what I mean? I lose concentration.
It is one of those games that you've got to support, and that you've got to support it. You've got to pre-order it. I haven't pre-ordered yet, but I will be pre-ordered.
Oh, you best pre-order it once you get off this bloody podcast,
I will. Are you going to be getting it, Bowen?
Guys, can you hear me?
Yes, indeed. I'll be getting that day one.
The one,
man.
Yeah, we can hear you a bit there, Sherman. Try it again.
I have to say, Sherman, that's a great view of your ceiling.
Yeah, but you can hear you a little bit better. But the one thing I was a bit gutted about, I will admit, was that it's only couch co-op and not online co-op.
Yeah, I might be certain that they could put into it at a later date. I
hope they do, because like I'd like to co-op that with someone, but I'll probably end up playing it with my nephew. Like, he's a big Xbox gamer. He's only 9. He plays Siege on ranked. Right, this is the craziest thing. I've actually watched him play like Rainbow Six Siege on ranked and completely rinse the other team by himself. He's only 9. And it's like, how the hell are you doing it? And I've watched him play some games as well on COD, and he got up to like round 40 odd. He wasn't even looking at me. Really, he was talking to me.
You know what it is. It's when you're a kid, your hand-eye coordination's better.
It's unreal, man. It actually puts me to shame. I'm looking at him thinking, I love you because you're my blood, but I hate you because you're a better gamer than me.
Sounds like my lad. God, bloody hell.
They just, I mean, this generation of gamers are coming through now, that especially the younger ones, that are like getting hands on, like, these games now, like eye-hand coordination. It's been scientifically proven. And to watch,
Del Boy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw something out there. Seeing as you're talking about the new era of gamers, I honestly do think that the new era of gamers is what's ruining the gaming industry.
I'll agree. Yeah.
No, they're honestly, and it's at no fault of their own. It's you've got to blame the media as well for this. But all the youngsters nowadays, I don't think they know what gaming is. you only have to go into like some Facebook groups like Bang Bang and stuff like that, and all these bloody little kids with bloody cartoon characters as pictures and shit, and all they talk about is the resolution, the graphics, the this, the that, things that, you know, let's be real, you know, contradictory to what we're saying about like the One X and how good it's going to be graphically. We all know it's going to be great, but what's the point in phenomenal graphics if you haven't got fun games like Gears of War and Halo? Like, but these gamers today, I don't know. It just seems the media are evolving the wrong things around these new age gamers. Every news article you see when a game's coming out is, ooh, it's only running at 1080p 30 frames or 900p. Digital Foundry nitpicking like a rat's arsehole, and it's just it is to cater to the new era of gamer. Because I know for a fact, I know I'm quite young myself. I'm only 24, but even I can honestly say I appreciate gaming for what, because I've done it for so long. I game for the fun experience.
24, it's not fair.
I reckon we should kick him out.
Yeah, you don't qualify.
The funny thing is, though, they keep going on about resolution and graphics and all this stuff. I don't think they really understand what they're on about.
Maybe a little bit more now, Sherman. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Sherman. Yeah.
Well, you only have to look at what's been going on with the Crackdown 3.
Well,
like all these comments about it being like the graphics of this, the graphics of that. It's like, it's freaking Crackdown. It's a cel-shaded game. It's meant to be cartoony. Stop meddling in things you have no clue about because you're comparing it to the 107th version of Call of Duty you've bought, you stupid little prick.
I think where your anger comes from, like, you know, Drew, and I can understand this, is like, I mean, those actual like sort of pockets of the younger gamers that are doing all that are the ones that have not got like the actual like older gamer in the life, like, you know, the dads who've been gaming or whatever, that actually teach them to enjoy it.
Oh, mate. Well, it's like I said, it's no fault of their own. They've been indoctrinated into this way of thinking in the gaming industry because of the media. Like, you know, if all you know is IGN slandering a game like Quantum Break because it was running at 720p.
Much water.
You know, it's just like, how are you going to be any different? It's like, how are the Sony ponies going to act any different when the people they look up to are trolling other companies and stuff? It's the same principle.
Yeah. No, I understand your anger though. Like, it is like...
Oh, it just annoys me. It's like, it's everywhere now. The focus is not about the games anymore, it's about how they look. Even though that's important as well, it's not the most important thing.
The game's the second thing, though. You know, it's not important.
No, sorry, I answered you, dude.
No, that's all right. No, that's fine, mate.
I mean, I'm not complaining about the One X being a thing and that it's coming out. I look forward to getting it. But when you think about it, this whole generation... you know, and akin to the One X being an actual, you know, the One X wouldn't exist if it wasn't for this ridiculous power and graphics and 4K, 1080p, 60, all this bloody stuff. It's just like,
you know about that. To be honest with you, in fairness, like I have to disagree with you on that point because I think that Microsoft being like the way they are, like, the company, they're very successful and they can read the bell curve of where tech and software is going, and they know that the uptake in 4K is coming. So what's the best way to do it? Let's make something that can do 4K because we'll sell more. It's business at the end of the day. So
it's the natural technological progression. Obviously, eventually there would have been a 4K machine from Microsoft, and maybe the PS5 will be a proper native 4K machine when that comes out in 2027. But the thing is,
pre-ordered yet? Wait.
2027. That's a bit early, isn't it?
Just a tad. But what I mean is, when you've got like Phil Spencer on stage like repeating himself for the 100th time about the power, the specs. This, like, that was never an issue before. You never had. I don't remember when the 360 was being revealed. I don't remember them dissecting the specs and saying how good it is here. They just revealed it as the box, and then they talked about games.
And this is the problem. Sony at this generation have completely destroyed fucking gaming, in my opinion.
Preach.
You got the Xbox 360. You had that system for 10 years. And then the new ones drop, and because the Xbox One has a couple of little pixels less than the PlayStation 4, it's like all that Sony sold that system on. They didn't sell it on the games; they sold it on power. And you had all these little muppets going on that system's more powerful than that one, even though you couldn't actually physically tell the difference in the graphics at all. And
they didn't just sell it on that though. They sold it on Microsoft's really bad E3 of 2012 or whatever.
Yeah, Merrick put a nail in the coffin. Yeah, I mean, it was appalling.
In 2013, that was, I mean, it was a bit of a PR disaster. And I actually know mates that used to game with on 360 who just come back over to Xbox One, and they still think that, the DRM's in place, you can't use games and everything, and it's all like they do.
Well, check this out. Yeah. When it was about to be able to buy it in the store, my mate goes, "Oh, have you heard that the Kinect sensor picks up everyone in the room and it charges you per person?" And I said to him,
the most outrageous claim ever.
I said to him, dude, you can turn the thing off.
Yeah.
You can turn it off.
People will believe anything they are told.
Going back to Digital Foundry, right? I watched a video about Digital Foundry in regards to why the console version of Destiny 2 can't do 60 frames, right? And I was watching it, and I was just like, how do people actually pay attention to this guy? He's so flipping boring. He's like, I know, we'll get the most boringest bugger on the planet to tell everybody how crap it runs on console.
Well, they did something similar with analyzing, didn't they, with Michael Pachter? I mean, he's a fucking...
don't mention that,
His exciting game for the X was Minecraft in 4K. I mean, the guy needs to top himself. He really does.
He said the PS6 is out next week.
I think you should just go and analyze his private. Sorry, Sherman, what are you saying, mate?
So like August of this century. Well, maybe not totally. I keep the past 3 years, almost 4 years. It's been like I keep hearing people they always say, "Oh yeah, the Xbox One, blah blah blah." Now the whole with you one. But like I was saying earlier, I try to catch every E3 every year, and I remember the E3 that year, and honestly, it wasn't that bad. I mean, I know how people, as time goes on, memories get kind of fuzzy, and you start people like, in hindsight, and do it a little differently. But I kind of, again, that needed to change. But as far as I remember, games that were revealed that year, but I was like, okay. I was like, all that we've been talking about so far, considering that Rise, Son of Rome was a launch title, it still looks as good, and in some cases, better than the games that are coming out now.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Fantastic game.
That's one game. I wish they'd do an actual patch for when the X comes out, because that'd look so much more stunning than it already does. If it was like, you know, the extra graphic fidelity to it. I mean, at the end of the day, the game won, like, you know, best graphical game of the year award when it came out. That says it all. And that was 900p.
Yeah. I'm still amazed.
Yeah, it is. I'll agree with that, definitely. I love that game.
Gameplay, and I mentioned this on the site the other day, about, you know, and how the gameplay is a lot similar to Rise, which to me is a great thing. But the gameplay, I really like sites like IGN and GameSpot, you know, those lame sites, and they're just going to pick apart anything Microsoft does. But I remember that about the gameplay for Rise. They said they admitted that it was stunning. Like, oh, the gameplay is repetitive, blah, 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 which is totally a farce. Because if you guys remember, that game had so many different gameplay elements to it, which I agree with you 100%. I'm really hoping that they do release the patch. Again, I'm only bringing that up because everybody keeps saying that, oh, you know, the Microsoft reveal, the Xbox One reveal in 2013 was just so bad. It was so terrible. And honestly, I'm struggling to see where it was just a total failure. I
don't think I actually I like the idea of, like, you know, the family sharing aspect, like with the games, like, you know, that was one thing that I wish they'd never got rid of. The digital, like, side of things, I'm an actual all digital gamer. All my games digital. I've embraced that. Like, I did actually like the vision that they came out with. The way it was sold, like, to people, though, was that it got ripped apart, and that was the only problem.
I mean, I'm digital because I can't be asked to put the disc in.
It's a weird thing, because you know what? When I started going on about digital, when they introduced the Xbox One, I was like, I ain't going fucking digital. I like discs. I like having my collection. 95% of my collection is digital. I mean, I'm a hypocrite.
I'm a 100% digital, like, you know, gamer. Like, all my games digital. But a lot of people say, well, it costs too much, and it's like, well, not really, because at the end of the day, like, I'm on Xbox Live Rewards. I get points back from, like, the actual. Like, you know,
me too, Steve.
Yeah.
And I also go, like, I don't know whether this is a promotion for the site or not, but CD Keys is a brilliant site for cheap credit. Credit, like, you get codes and you put them in, and it actually works out roughly the same as just buying it physically. The only difference is, I can't sell it on, but with this game gifting that's coming up as well, which, by the way, is absolute fantastic news. Thought the refund policy was brilliant until they came out with this. Because I've got so many digital games built up. I've got one mate who's just come onto Xbox. That, like, you know, basically, I've got loads of games that I do not play now. That, like, hopefully I can gift them quite a few games, and it's like, you know, share the love. And as times I've been wanting to, like, get certain, like, you know, add-ons or whatever, like, your someone's not got, like Battlefield 1's a brilliant example. Like, one of my friends hasn't got, like, the premium pass for it. I've got all the maps and everything, and I want him to play with me, even though they released that Battlefield Friends thing. He doesn't give him XP or anything. He wants to earn XP, but I'd love to, like, just gift him, like, you know, the actual pass. So, you know, that side of things. I mean, Microsoft is stepping their game up every single year. There's something new, something better. I mean, it's been added to the system. It's evolved so much since it was released. It's not the same thing that it was in 2013. You know what I mean?
I mean, the thing is as well, I mean, digital games for me, I mean, it actually saves me money because I game share with my son. So instead of me having to buy 2 games now, which I was having to do, so it cost me sort of nearly £100, I only have to buy 1 copy and we both get it anyway. So I mean, it's been a fortune.
It's like, I mean, Microsoft is like basically the complete anti of Sony. They actually do listen to the customer fan base. They know that's the way forward. And as soon as they started doing that, everything's clicked into place and everything's become better. And like we've got all these features. I mean, like they just recently obviously did the update. Mixer, the new Mixer update, I think is fantastic. Like I didn't used to stream, but Mixer's so easy to use that now I do. And the code streaming's even better because my mate just invites me. I click a couple of buttons, boom, streaming.
What's good is that Mixer is built into the system.
Yeah.
Right, and you don't need to create a new profile. Does it all for you? I mean, like I've said to you, Steve, in the mansion, I said, there's still people using Twitch.
Yeah,
and they're promoting Xbox.
Yeah, well, see, this
you know what you do. It's like what you're doing.
Like, yeah, exactly. That's a very good point. See, like with Twitch, it's an established thing, but the whole thing with like Mixer that we've got now with like the co-stream, get 4 people onto it. If they can actually latch on to like an esport, which like you can do with the Halo or Gears, like, you know, and you can run those like actual like sports competitive side things, and you've got the 4 screens and you can switch between each one and you can watch each player. That's an amazing feature. You know what I mean? You can actually like, because I've played like in multiplayer games where I've had stuff happen to me, and I'm like, whoa, guys, you never believe what's just happened to me. None of them can see it, but now because of the co-streaming, other people can, and nobody misses any of the action. There's like something that you'll be doing that one of your mates will miss, and like
it's innovation at the end of the day.
Oh yeah,
it is. Yeah, it's a fantastic feature, and it's something that we're going to use at some point as well. I mean, we're going to be doing the odd sort of almost like a podcast. I would say through.
Probably be easier like sorting that out than it was tonight sorting this.
Yeah, probably will be. Yeah, but we're still do podcasts on here, but we will do occasional things on Mixer as well. I think that'd be good fun.
Well, I think we're probably all getting Battlefront 2, aren't we? Like, I know you'll be Chris, like you've been a Star Wars nerd like me. So
I want to get it, but it's not going to be a day one for me. Just because I've got so many other games that I need to play, and it's just a cost factor, really.
Yeah.
But I loved seeing the EA videos of it. I found it really funny when they were like, I think one of the characters came on and it was like, yeah, you can do, and then he dies, and you just think, obviously one of those abilities wasn't block, was it? And then you got Ray. Ray jumps through the air and dies. And this is Ray. Oh look, she's died.
The thing that like really like rubber stamped it for me the other day was when they released the names of the heroes that you're going to be able to use. General Grievous, the 4-armed robot like lightsaber wielding like guy is going to be a hero to play. That absolutely brought a tear to my eye. I was like, holy crap, I am so playing as General Grievous.
Me and E-Rock X were playing Battlefront 1 the other week, and I was always choosing like the Jedi, and I was killing him every time. I thought, sorry, dude. Sorry, mate.
We'll have to have a night on that. I mean, the other thing as well, I mean, you're mentioning Battlefield 1 and Battlefront and all that sort of thing. I mean, the other thing that we should talk about is EA Access, because I mean, we all know that this is something that Sony shit on at the start and said it was worth the money and it wasn't a good investment for gamers. And they've just announced that Battlefield 1 and Titanfall 2 are coming on it this month. Sony talk shit, don't they? They really do talk shit.
I mean, this is a good jumping on point for anybody who like hasn't got Battlefield 1. I can vouch for it. It's fantastic.
Incredible game.
I was annoyed because I wanted to wait until EA Access put it on, but I bought it like 3 months ago. I was like, no.
Yeah. Well, see, I actually stuck to my guns with the Titanfall 2 thing because I didn't forgive them for basically not letting me have the trial on EA Access because I played the beta alpha thing, whatever it was, and I didn't really feel it. So if I can have 10 hours that they should give us on the EA trial, that might actually sway me to buy it. They didn't give us that, so I went, no, I'm not buying it. I still haven't. and now it's coming free anyway. So, winner. But yeah, it's EA Access has just proved just phenomenal. Like, and now that they're doing that, like that's less than a year that they've been out. It's something that they said that they're going to be looking at doing. So I've got a funny feeling that there's going to be some more announcements for like EA, maybe at Gamescom. I think they've got some other things up their sleeve that they're not talking about at the moment. Hopefully, the fight night.
Hopefully, it's Battlefront 2 free trial.
Oh well, yeah, they've got the actual beta for it is in October.
That'll be a definite. Anyway, I mean EA Access. Put my teeth back in. EA Access. I'll have a 10-hour or a 9-hour trial on that.
Getting old now, Micro. Your teeth falling out mid-sentence.
Like mid-sentence. They always do with this.
Respect your elders, you youngin.
But, no, you'll get your free trial with that.
So, guys, do you guys think that of course, it's legend now that EA went to Sony, and Sony just basically kicked them out of their offices. As far as accepting the whole EA Access thing, and then Microsoft was like, "Oh, come on!" They embraced it with open arms. So, do you guys think that because of that fact alone, that's one of the reasons why, when it comes to the Scorpio and Electronic Arts utilizing the full power of the Scorpio with the multi-pass?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Part of the reason why the EA will probably take advantage of all that horsepower is because Microsoft said, "Hey, come on in. We'll let you. Yeah, we'll do the EA Access thing because we know Sony. Sony, they don't care. Hey, come on with us." And so, do you think that's possible?
Yeah,
Sony going down, throwing us under a bus.
German, I'll definitely agree with you on that point. I reckon that move for EA Access, like Sony snubbed and basically Microsoft said, "Yeah, we want that." That is definitely really paid off in the long term because not only is it a good service, but like you say, that they're going to put the best looking version of multi-plat on the system because. Another thing is the Frostbite engine is DX12. It uses DX12, and in the Xbox One X, it's got DX12 baked into the software as well. Into the hardware. Sorry, and so that's going to play in time. But yeah, I definitely agree. They will show off their games on it. I mean, look at Anthem.
Yeah. Anthem's awesome.
Phenomenal. That's next level. That as soon as that was shown, I've got to admit, it gave me wood. I really did. I did get wood when I looked at that. I thought, wow.
But thing is with EA Access is, right, it's like $19.99 for a year. I mean, you'd be stupid not to buy that.
I know.
It's worth it just for one game.
Yeah,
exactly. I mean, I renew it every single year, and apart from, obviously you get the games going in the vault. To be honest, I buy most of the new games coming out anyway, but I get them at a discount, which is even better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I find it strange that EA Access is with the Xbox brand, yet they get the marketing rights for Star Wars Battlefront. It doesn't bother me. I don't need Sony to tell me that
it's one of those business things we don't know the ins and outs of it. Unfortunately, I understand what you mean because it is a bit of an odd one. I know obviously we must have the marketing rights to Anthem, otherwise, why would we premiere it? But of course, obviously, Sony were caught with the actual X version, like the video from the actual E3 conference up on their page with doctored photos.
Photoshop videos, yeah.
The thing is, though, Micro, there is a fine line. There is a distinctive difference between marketing rights and partnerships. EA and Microsoft have a very good relationship. That's why, with EA Access, games come earlier. Like Star Wars Battlefront 2 will come early, about a week early. Timefall 2 was about a week early. Battlefield 1 was about a week early. FIFA has the limited edition Legends packs and stuff, which is only exclusive to Xbox. You can't get them on PlayStation. The perks that Microsoft gets being partnered with EA outweighs. Well, Sony's at a loss really because all they're doing essentially is giving EA more money, which goes towards perks for our platform, just so they can advertise it on their channel on YouTube or on the TV.
You know what?
It doesn't better the game in any way. They're not contributing anything. They're literally just saying, right, I'll give you this money that I don't fucking have. I can live for 3 weeks on a tin of beans. It's okay. Just so I can put your trailer on my channel. And the funny thing is, it's funny you mention Anthem. Anthem, Xbox has obviously the partnership with EA, but they also have the marketing rights for Anthem. Yeah. And Sony had the audacity to, like you said, Photoshop the buttons on and chuck it on there. And it's just, they just made themselves look like fools. But no, I think I think they should really pull back from all these marketing rights, because it's just like Micro said it best before. It doesn't matter like how many times you see the Star Wars Battlefront 2 advert. Only on PlayStation, greatness awaits. You're gonna buy it on the platform you want to play it on anyway. So what's the bloody point? Sony literally might as well take that money they gave to EA and wipe their asses with it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't understand it. I really don't. I don't understand marketing deals on multiplats. I just think it's ridiculous. And
half the games they got marketing deals on, they didn't even show the demos at E3. That's only because they know that they've got the inferior version.
Yeah, that part did actually make me laugh. Like, it's like, wait a minute, you've got all these marketing deals, but you're not showing them. That was like complete burn.
The real joke though is you'll probably find that all of these games are probably made using Windows, which is Microsoft anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, the Windows, or they've used the Havoc gaming, there's all these different things.
That Microsoft's being absolutely so clever with as well is the buying up, obviously they got, was it Simple Form, Havoc, they've buying up like some of like the bits that they use for the engine and stuff like that. You know what I mean? They've got Minecraft, which is like everything. Apart from obviously Sony doesn't want to play ball, and they said no, cross-play. Which I'm sorry, but if you're a PlayStation player, you've got to call them out on that. I've watched a video and some guy did, and I've got to respect. He's a PlayStation player, and he even said that was bullshit. He said that how can you not give the cross-play on that game? It's like with Rocket League as well. It's like they're trying to imply that it's not going to be family friendly. They got to look after the consumer base, but you can't talk in to other players in Rocket League. So that should have been a no-brainer. And Minecraft is huge. If they would have cross-play, absolutely, most people would have spotted it.
Yeah. No, it was an absolute bullshit excuse. You're telling me that Microsoft and Nintendo don't care about family safety?
Exactly, and Nintendo, that was the main point that they made as well. And I'm glad that Phil did make that point. He said, "We're trying to say that we don't look after our company, but yeah, we're okay as well as Nintendo saying okay." Implying, well, that's the most family-friendly gaming company on the planet. What are you on about?
Yeah, exactly. And I don't remember Microsoft or Nintendo having their servers hacked and not telling anybody for about 4 weeks after all the credit card details had gone out. So, yeah, exactly.
I stand by this. I think the best investment Microsoft has made so far is the Azure servers.
Yeah, that's going to be really interesting.
That's the foundation of the network. It's like you how do you explain it? You can't. I don't know. I've had a complete and utter brain fart. But the network is the strongest point for Microsoft. Before everything, before the games, before the online interface, before the friends, the community, it all starts with the network and the Azure servers, with the gaming and the online gaming and stuff, and you just can't fault it.
It's the network that kept me on Xbox. Because back in the day of the PS3, I couldn't play online. You know,
No.
I swapped it.
You
For
get what
a
you pay for,
360.
though.
Yeah, I swapped it for a 360, and I played the same game that I knew I wouldn't be able to play online straight away. I had about
No problem.
3 or 4 people in the party as well. You know, it's like even the patches and the system
Yeah, the
updates,
everything,
the
wasn't it?
updates, hell of a lot quicker to do. You know, I saw quality from the get-go on that.
Do you know what? I did actually pick up, and I do apologise for this, people. I did pick up a PlayStation 3 at some point, about halfway through the lifespan of the PlayStation 3, and I thought I picked up a
When it
copy.
finally got cheap.
I got a copy of Gran Turismo, and I can't remember when it was. Was it 4 or 5? I don't know. That's how much interest.
What minute is it for? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's 5 because they're up to 6 now. Aren't they?
Yeah, well, I picked it up. It was a £5, and I thought, oh, I'll give that a go, you know, because I wanted to play the Uncharted games. That was the reason I bought it, and it was only like 80 quid, I think I paid for it. So I took it home and I put Gran Turismo in, and do you know what? It took 4 hours to install patches.
Yeah.
You know, it installed one patch, and then it installed another patch, and then it installed another patch. It's like the Xbox 360, the way that they did it. You had one patch, it deleted, overwrote all of the patches, and you had one patch, and that was it.
Yeah.
And it took probably less than a minute to do. But this game, it was literally patch, install, patch, and you still had to install a shitload of the disc onto it then. And that was a time when you didn't really have to install games. You know,
Yeah, I remember. Back in the day.
You did, yeah. You remember the days. But
And now we're looking at these like huge ass updates, which I mean, I'm gonna have to get a new like hard drive, external hard drive, because some of the games are huge, but they're gonna be worth it. They're gonna be huge.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking Xbox One X games. I mean, I think Forza 6 is going to be 100 gigabytes.
Wow.
Thing is though, that's just the non 4K stuff.
Forza 7.
It'd be about 150, won't it?
Yeah, get those 4K textures to download. Jesus Christ! But at the end of the day, if you want graphical quality, if you want more content in games, you've got to be willing to download it. You know, these discs can't hold that sort of information.
Exactly. I mean, that's why like, I'm quite thankful. Like with something that Chris mentioned as well, like about like with the PlayStation download, like because it is ridiculous. Because like I say, I've got this refurbished piece of over the the speed's so slow. But when like I've got my Xbox One, it's hardwired to the internet. I get speeds of 230 megabytes per second on that. Virgin, it's like to download a game for me only takes less than half an hour.
Have you got the special game package then?
I've got the highest package you can get at the moment. The I think it's called the big Kahuna package.
Yeah,
You're on Virgin Media.
Yeah. So it's like basically we get like we're supposed to get 200 meg, but for some weird reason I get 230 meg. So
perks of being a scouser, I suppose.
Yeah, he's
not the way. Hey, tell you what, some way of making my internet faster because there was a scouser who use that skill right now.
I'm so jealous of you guys right now. You know, this is one of those things. And again, last night when we were messaging each other, and I said, once again, the United States is behind everybody else. And see, this is just another example. You guys are talking 200.
Yeah.
I see. The max I'm getting right now, well, I'm supposed to be getting 40.
Wow.
And it actually said I was getting like 56. So I was like, ooh. I was feeling.
Who is it that you threw? Because I know I've heard a few of the companies, like obviously with your cable provider as well over in the States. Like some of them are like not too good. I can't remember who someone mentioned. Wasn't Viacom? Was it? I can't remember. No, I know there's a few Sherman I've heard like good with the speeds. I mean, are you out more in the sticks, like out in the suburbs and that?
No, I'm in the heart of Phoenix.
Wow. So even in like the main bit, you should definitely get better speeds than that, surely.
Of course.
But it's
And it's interesting
it's getting about 50, like, you know what I mean? Like, there's about 45, 50 in the main area. That's shocking.
Yeah.
What's interesting, just last week, we revealed that company has been hit with a class action lawsuit because the speeds that they're offering are not the speeds given.
Yeah, so it's basically wrongful advertising, or like, you know.
Exactly. So they're saying that they're actually, so, you know, I'm supposed to be getting a maximum of 40, but in reality, supposed to be that.
Wow, man. Philadelphia, that sucks. Like, they need to see, this is like, they need to improve like the internet infrastructure in most countries, but especially with the way gaming's going, because it is going to go all digital. Like, I mean, the PC's already all digital, and the console's going that way, because even the sales charts show that. The sales charts show that like, the most of the games are bought digitally. So. But
I can guarantee you that the. Oh, sorry, Micro. Sorry,
no, go on, mate. I was waiting for you to plan out because I want to know what speed you're on, being in the Welsh valleys.
Well, but yeah, the hamster speed over here, but is averaging at 2 inches per freaking hour. But
I thought yours is powered by water from the valleys.
Well, the water runs upwards, but no, back to what I was saying though. What were we on about? Oh shit, brain fart.
Speed on your broadband.
Oh no, after that.
Because we were talking about digital gaming, like.
Sorry, yep, that's it, digital. I honestly think that in terms of Xbox now, I can't obviously speak for Nintendo or Sony or PC. Frankly, I couldn't give a fuck. But if I'm just talking Xbox now and what Xbox is doing, it wasn't actually that long ago. I think it was Brad Sams from Windows Central. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he leaked some like patents and stuff that was happening behind closed doors at Microsoft, of like a toggle, like kind of like a Google Chrome. You insert it in the side of your TV and you can stream your games or whatever from the cloud. Blah, blah, blah.
I think I remember hearing about that.
Yeah, I honestly think that the One X. I'm not going to sit here and say it's the last console we'll see, because I think we can already say comfortably, especially recently with Phil Spencer, as well as other people saying that the One X's successor is already in the works.
Well, yeah.
But I think the One X is the last console we'll see from Microsoft that has a disk drive, because I think within the next 5 years, I think DVDs, games, music, anything like that. I think CDs in general are going to be more or less disappearing.
Yeah.
I mean, look how quick HD DVD disappeared when Blu-ray came around. You know, in a minute it's going to be the case of like, you know, your Apple TV or your Chromecast or whatever. You just click a button and your film is ready to watch straight away. You don't even have to download. You don't have to do this. I know you can pretty much do that on some services already, like, you know, but like Netflix, for example, but on a larger scale. But I think that's where gaming's going, definitely. I think the One X is probably going to be the last system we'll see with a disc drive. I think the next one...
It's going to be like a Steam box, really.
Yeah, more or less. Yeah, like an Alienware box or something where you literally just turn it on and your library of games is linked to your account. And it probably has an internal storage and you can use it by hard drives, much like the Xbox One does now. But
it's more than 1 terabyte the next time, then, eh?
Yeah.
But no, that's honestly where I think it's going.
Okay.
I think give it within the next 4 or 5 years, especially when the next Xbox is out, Xbox 2 or whatever. Not to delve too much into it, because it does my head in that people are already talking about PS5 and PS6 and fucking Nintendo fucking nonce. But
what will be the next Nintendo after the Nintendo Switch? Because we've had the Wii, we've had the Wii U, we've had the Switch. I don't know, they're going to come up with some daft name, like, aren't they? It seems to be working the way back for the alphabet. It's like it's W's, now it's an S.
Nintendo just spin, probably.
Nintendo.
I'm going to barge in here because what you're saying, Bowen, is coming from a young whippersnapper.
Yeah, yeah. We remember the days when it was like Betamax, yes, and then cassette, and then CDs. Like, wow, this is amazing.
Yeah, no, that's it.
You know, micro cash.
Go on, Micro. What were you going to say, mate?
Well, I was going to say, you young bastards. I've got a nosebleed. Apart from that, I know where you're coming from, and I can see gaming going digital, but I think the drives in the Xboxes and the PlayStations are big sellers. If you remember the PlayStation 3, it sold mainly on the power that it was the cheapest Blu-ray player on the market.
Yeah.
And then the Xbox One S and the X is going to be the cheapest 4K Blu-ray player on the market, and it helps sell. I don't want a system that's just been limited to me having to download everything. I like, especially my films. I mean, you all know. I mean, I love movies, and I have to have the box. I have to have the discs. I have to have them on my shelf so I can look at them.
The thing is, it's the impact it's going to affect to like retail outlets as well. I mean, you know, the internet has destroyed retail, hands down.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But unfortunately, that is, at least I think, even being a young whippersnapper, I do think it's inevitably going to be that way. I mean, I do, you know, like it'll hurt the, like you said, the retail market and all that shiz. But I do think that when it comes to DVDs, games, I do think eventually, I can't put a time on it, but I do think eventually discs and physical discs and cases and is going to be, you know, distant memory. Because at the end of the day, it costs the manufacturer to make those discs, to make those cases, to buy extra. I'm sorry, but if say you're a games developer and you know, you got two choices. One, spend X amount on a million discs, a million cases, a million artworks done, graphics done, blah, 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 and then you got to like lease it out to like different, you know, markets and like different shops buying this, or just click a button and it's in the cloud and people can just download it and you get maximum profit.
Yeah, you're going
to take that choice eventually if it's,
I can see where you're going, but let's look at it from another point of view. I remember when I was young, we whippersnapper, I used to have a huge vinyl selection. And then,
vinyls, man.
And then CD came about and the vinyls died off and they stopped producing them, and now all of us vinyl's the big in thing again and everybody's buying them.
Hey, we had video cassettes before we had CDs, you know.
Exactly.
But the thing is, though, like nobody will ever forget about discs. You know, like you said, with vinyls, with cassette tapes, with VHS, like everyone's always going to fall back into the retro. You know, like with music, I don't actually listen to anything, you know, like modern. All I listen to is AC/DC and Zeppelin and Black Sabbath and stuff like that.
I thought it was tango music, but I'm happy that you said that.
But that's what I mean. People will always go back and look back. Like, you know, you've got your Dreamcast and you've got every bloody console that was ever bloody made, and you still go back to playing them. Like,
too right.
Unfortunately, we will never be able to stop technology advancing, and eventually, it's inevitable. Like physical discs is going to be of distant memory, much like the transition from cassette to disc or vinyl to disc or whatever you want to. You know, the previous will die out and the new will come in, you know, and digital is the way forward because it's cheaper, probably.
I think there always will be a market for physical, certainly for movies and things. Yes, people like digital. I personally don't. I do it for gaming because I can share with my lad. That's the only reason. If I didn't share with my lad, I'd buy the physical copies. But I think the biggest thing that's, you know, sort of savaged the market, you know, the high street isn't so much digital, it's more places like Amazon. You know, you can buy that Blu-ray and that video and that music and that game for easily £10 cheaper on Amazon, and you're going to go there and you're going to save the money. I mean, games are always cheaper on Amazon than they are in that game.
I bought a game from Amazon during the Christmas sales, and it was the Ultimate Edition of Forza Horizon 3 for £40. I thought that's a win-win, that is, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I can see it going that way with possibly I can see it going that way with games because of the games being bigger. But there again, if people can't always download these games, so they still prefer the digital version, the physical versions, because they haven't got the broadband speed. Or, I mean, that's not so much the thing these days. I mean, because it seems to me that you have to download more than you actually install off the disc these days, anyway. But do you know what I mean? I think there's always going to be old bastards like me that want to have the physical copies in the hand. So I can't see it vanishing completely. I hate it. I'd hate it if it did anyway, definitely. So I'm an old fart.
I like discs too, but I think it will.
I don't download any music. I buy the disc. I like having the CDs or the vinyls or the cassette tapes. The cassette tapes, ladies and gentlemen, were a little plastic thing that used to slide in.
They contain microfilm, and this was placed upon particles of zinc. And play them back.
Rewind. Can I get a rewind?
That didn't fade away if there were Sony tapes, apparently.
Well, the Sony Walkman. Oh my God, that's going back. Remember the Walkman?
Yo, gentlemen, I'm gonna have to love you and leave you all. My kids just woke up. So I'm going to have to sort him out.
Thanks for dropping in, mate. I appreciate it.
No, mate. My pleasure. Thank you all for having me. I didn't think I was going to be able to get on, but I very much appreciate the invite, and great show for your first show, guys, and good luck with the future of your podcast.
You teething problems, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
Not all bounce off one another just fine. Like Sherman, though, I got to say, no, you got to get yourself a headset, dude. but no, all in all, top podcast. Thank you for having me. And this is the Welsh Gamer, home of the Dragon X podcast with Microbox and E-Rock. Check out my channel and hopefully catch you guys very soon.
I didn't see you could come on and advertise. What are you doing?
Hey, what am I paying you for?
You missed out.
It's the Welsh Gamer. Out.
Take care, mate.
Very well.
See you, dude.
Was he hanging around? When are you gone?
So,
Yo.
Oh, dear. Anyway, guys, we're gonna be hitting a couple more subjects, and then we'll be calling it a night. Because obviously we started bloody late as well.
Not naming any names.
No, not naming any names. How you doing, Sherman? You still there, mate? He's having issues. Right, so last but one. Xbox One X pre-orders. What are you guys thinking about this? There's a lot of rumours that the Xbox One X is going to be delayed. Do you reckon this is just bollocks that's been spread in the media just to cause a bit of...
Bollocks. Like straight bollocks. Oh. I saw the tweet that was directed towards Phil, the famous tweet that's like now got basically through all the media, which he stamps out that assertion that it's going to be delayed. He said no, November the 7th. It feels good. It's we're sorted. And guess who brought up that tweet? None other than Tinfoil Puppy himself. The old flip-flopper Iron Wolf went over to the other side, and now he just wants to cause even more crap for the rest of us. I tell you what, he's totally burnt his bridges over here. It's disgusting. He was like, remember when he had the picture of him and Phil?
Yeah.
On his profile and stuff like that. And he was like always rapping about everything Xbox, and then he just completely flipped out. I mean, at the end of the day, he can go and stay over there with his drawn-on eyebrows. I don't care about him anymore.
Oh dear.
It just adds to the damage control, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's what I mean. He's putting stuff out there to try and
The what was it? He goes, well, it's not very comforting for the pre-orders.
Yeah.
And it's like November the 7th, mate.
Well, that's
exactly.
what.
I mean, we all know the date is coming. They've given the date that it's coming out, and that's a solid date. It's just that they're waiting for the FCC to give the go ahead with the pre-orders for the system.
I've got a funny suspicion that, and this might just be a conspiracy theory on my side of things, but have you noticed that all of the other games that Microsoft are releasing are already up in the store, bar one, Crackdown 3. Now, this is why I think that Gamescom, they're going to show the multiplayer off to really blow the socks off everybody. And then they're going to announce the pre-orders and a Crackdown 3 version. You can get Crackdown 3 with this, with the Xbox One X. And they'll shift a lot of copies.
Will it have Terry Crews's face on it, though?
I hope so. No, I mean, I don't think it'll be a custom Xbox per se. I don't think it's going to be anything like that. But I reckon that's the reason why it's not in the store, so people can't order digitally. But you'll get a digital copy of it with the actual Xbox One X because it'll show off exactly what it can do. I think that's my prediction for Gamescom. That's what I reckon is going to happen. But yeah, the whole thing behind it. Delaying it, that's pie in the sky stuff. They announced it last year. They gave themselves plenty of time. I mean, even the SDKs are not fully up to the proper full capability yet. They're only 80%.
Well, they're still optimizing it, aren't they?
They're still optimizing. Yeah, they're still pushing it.
So,
that's a real kick in the teeth there, that is, for anybody going, oh yeah, it's going to be rubbish. It's like they haven't finished optimizing it yet. Then we'll see.
Well, this is the thing that I think they've done a brilliant. I think it was genius going to Digital Foundry and giving them the look at it, because they're the ones who scrutinize everything, and they even had to eat crow, and they even had to admit wow, this is a brilliant feat of engineering. And at the end of the day, they've done it, and even Phil said every single one of them. If you listen to them, they said it. Him, Aaron Greenberg, Mike Yubara said we've done it so that you can just dial it up, and basically that's all the meanings. All the games that are already been made, wait until it's fully optimized, and then you can just dial up to this bit and that bit. It's just basically the settings on a PC. Just dial it all the way up to the top, and there we go. Everything's cushy.
That hurt them. That did. That really hurt them to actually go on there and actually say that. They were hoping so much that they'd be say, yeah, it's shit.
Yeah, I know. I will admit, I was nervous that day.
I wasn't.
Weren't you?
Well,
it showed confidence, but I was also worried that they were going to twist it. You know what I mean? I was thinking,
the fact that they give it to Digital Foundry just showed that they have 100% confidence in what the machine could do.
Yeah,
exactly. You know what? I've got something in regards to the whole delay thing with the FCC and honestly, I'm kind of surprised that nobody has touched on this. Now, again, Phil said that they're waiting on FCC approval, blah, blah, blah. But see, and maybe you guys over there aren't fully aware, thanks to our, and I say this as I'm rolling my eyes, thanks to our fearless leader in Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
Thanks to our fearless orange-faced leader, the FCC is understaffed thanks to him.
Yeah.
Now, what a lot of people either forgot or the news media didn't really touch on it. Trump came into office, he called himself cleaning house and, we don't need this department, or, we got 2,000 people working in this department. We're going to cut them down to 120. And the FCC is one of those departments.
Right. That might be part of it. All right.
Right. In fact, he hasn't even appointed an FCC director. Now, he's been in office for 6 months, and he hasn't doing that. So now I'm not saying that might have something to do with it, but deep down, I think that could be part of the problem.
Yeah. It'll definitely have a ripple effect, like to obviously get it approved. Like if you've not got the staff there, I mean, in a way we understand like what it's like, because over here, like in the UK, we've got Conservatives, and they're in government, and they basically just everything that was like public sector, everything that was like to do with like government departments, they just cut bare bones all the way down. So I understand what it's like. I didn't even think about that, actually. I heard obviously about the SCC. I mean, I'm not as knowledgeable on it obviously as yourself will be, but I didn't know that. All right. Thank you, Trump. Good.
See, now, of all the things that might get him kicked out of office, wouldn't it be amazing if it was the fact that he dissed gamers?
Yeah, angry gamers with pitchforks on like the one. Get out! Being on our Xbox One X.
Right.
It'd be great to see it as a news story, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that would be brilliant. That actually.
Gamers destroy Trump. That would break the internet. That would.
Yeah,
it would. Yeah.
I honestly didn't even realise that was the case that was going on over there with like the FCC and understaffed. That's terrible news. So you're probably right there. That's probably one of the reasons why it's being held up.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's not going to make any difference to sales figures. So,
no.
If it takes longer to come to pre-order, then so be it. But
I don't think it will. I think maybe like they obviously being over in the United States, because like obviously that's where Microsoft is. They've foreseen what's gone on with the election. They thought, right, we've got to put out a date here which gives us enough time to compensate for what's happening with the change of office and everything else that's going on in the inner workings, because they'll know better than any of us, like the inside of the business side of things. So,
but the thing is, though, it gives perfect opportunity to find out how much interest this console's giving.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
well, because everyone's registered for their interest. That's that was a great. I'll be honest. I thought, you know what, that's a really clever move as well.
Twitter and Facebook is just full of people saying, "When can we order? When can we pre-order this system?" You know, it's very popular. People want to buy this bloody system. They want it in their homes now, so they want to get the pre-orders in. And the thing is, at the end of the day, Microsoft wouldn't confirm a date if they weren't going to hit it. They wouldn't confirm a date that system was going on sale unless they're 100% confident that it would be available.
Or was it Phil Spencer said he's got one in his house, and I just kept thinking, where do you live, Phil? Where do you live?
Yeah, Major Nelson's had one for months as well.
Lucky. I know. I really didn't think about like how it works for the FCC before, but obviously with it being a government department, like obviously I won't say so much. I don't want to. Obviously, we talked about this before. We don't really want to talk about politics and stuff, but yeah, that would be a bit of turmoil that's maybe causing a bit of a delay. But yeah, I don't think Microsoft would have given that date if they weren't rock solid on knowing that's when it's going to come out.
Yeah. Well, they wouldn't have shown it at E3 if they weren't confident that it was going to be released.
Exactly.
Would they?
Yeah, no, exactly. It would not have stood on stage like that and given a date of 7th of November if he wasn't confident they were going to hit it.
Well, Digital Foundry must have had the current console how it is now. They wouldn't have had the SDX, would they?
No, definitely.
Yeah. Well, when they originally shown it, I think they had the SDK. They had one of the SDKs, or I think there was a rumor that they were going to show off an 80% version of it, like one that wasn't fully up to scratch, and Microsoft stepped in and they basically brought it up to scratch. That was one of the rumors.
Do you know, it'd be really funny though if they go, oh, by the way, that isn't actually the final design. We're actually going to pump it up a little bit extra now.
Stop making me dream.
Yeah.
remember right before E3, they kind of did that when they announced that they allocated an extra amount for the memory.
Yeah.
Yes.
One dev kits. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, they put some more memory in there.
So then they could scale back from it like that. I mean, that's the most unanimous thing that's coming back from all the developers is that it's the most like developer friendly device they've used. I think it's a microscope.
This is something like I said on the Dragon X podcast, the last Dragon X. There was a real wow factor and a real sort of fucking hell, that looks awesome when we saw Anthem running and when we saw Metro running, more so than what we got from when the Xbox One, the original Xbox One was released. I got more of a sort of. I mean, I remember when the Xbox 360 and they showed us Call of Duty for the first time and the Forza, and it was like, whoa, look at that! You could see.
Do you remember Modern Warfare 2 when they first showed that? That was a wow moment.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I mean, when it was like, whoa, and we haven't had that. I think with this generation until now. I mean, when we saw the Xbox One X running on that stage, and we saw those games.
I don't know. Rise did it for me in 2013.
Oh yeah, I mean, Rise looked. Yeah, I mean, Rise.
Yeah, but I know what you mean. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Rise is still an amazing looking game, but there was just not that sort of game that really sort of kicked you in the nuts. And
I'll be honest, Forza 7 blew me away. The actual detail on that, it looked real.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the only thing that didn't look real was obviously the driver tire, like when that was it. But the rest of it, I was like, wow, is this real? Is this like, is that a real, like, like filming or what? What's going on? And I mean, even the guys at Turn 10 said that they took some inspiration from that Star Wars Battlefront, version that was done at 4K for the actual, like, the rock formations and that. And I think it was on Tatooine or something like that. And they said they took the inspiration from those rocks. And you can see that in the game, and it's like, wow, this looks real. It did look real, but Anthem was the one that really took my breath completely away.
I'm hoping, and I'm sure you are as well, Andy, that we're going to see that in EGX.
Yes. Are you going as well, Steve? To EGX in Birmingham in September?
Not me, mate. I'm agoraphobic. I'm stuck in my house. So
that's the next big thing. Obviously, is for us, it's going to be EGX, and myself, Andy, and the Welsh Gamer will be attending that for Saturday. I believe we're going on the Saturday, aren't you, Andy?
Yes.
Yes. So we'll be there for that. So if you remember, we'll probably mention it again anyway. But we will be there in September. Looking forward to that.
Chris, don't forget. I'll be there because you said you were going to send me a plane ticket. Remember?
I did.
No, we're going to go Facebook Live for you. We're not. It'd be like you're right next to us.
I was going to send over my private jet, then I remembered I didn't have one. It was in GTA 5, so I'm sorry.
All right. Well, maybe next time.
I'll be coming over there next year, I'm hoping.
That'd
be really cool if we can make that happen.
We're all staying at your house, aren't we?
Oh my god, that's going to be a good crack. So, right then, to finish off, 2 games that you're really looking forward to getting this year. Your top 2 games of this year. Go, Andy.
I'm looking forward to a game called Vampire.
Oh, you stole mine.
I've purposely not watched a lot of videos or anything to do with it because I don't want some video to ruin the entire game for me because it happens with everything now.
Oh, if once I know everything about that game.
And I'm looking forward to Assassin's Creed actually.
Oh, good man, good choice.
but thing is, there's so many. I mean, I couldn't really think of the others because I didn't know the exact dates they were releasing. So,
there's some
those 2.
Definitely some amazing games dropping. I just hope you mentioned Assassins. I really do hope, and they probably won't, but I hope they put the PvP back in again. I really missed that.
I never played it.
Oh, it was awesome. It was absolutely awesome. I loved it.
But I like those games because it's at the very start when they first come out, it was progressive. It was progressive in the terms of the more you play it and you unlock more things as you progress with the game.
Yes.
And with this new one, it's you got an Origins game, and they've taken it down like you unlock abilities and experience points, and I thought that's the only way they could take it down a new direction.
Yeah. No, it looks amazing.
Because you did that thing where you would give people a free copy of Unity, and I was like, no, don't want it. Don't want it.
I remember that.
Oh my god. Right, Del.
Me. Well, one of mine, luckily enough, the one that I'm looking forward to. In fact, I'll leave Vampire alone because, like Chris mentioned.
Yeah, that's mine. That's mine.
And I do look forward to that one. Luckily enough, one of my most look forward to games is coming out next week, which is Fortnite. I've been waiting since 2011 for this game to come out. It got mentioned by it's by Cliff Bitsky, when he separated from Gears, and basically it's done by the studio People Can Fly, who did Bulletstorm, and it's where you get to build your own fort, and the second is gotta be Crackdown 3. I'm sorry, that it has to be because it just looks amazing. I mean, I love the original Crackdown. Second Crackdown, brilliant. And now that I know that, considering how much it's gonna look so well, it's gonna play it so well. It looks fantastic the way they've done the art style again. But to know that Terry Crews is going to be in it, completely icing on the cake. That's my top two. Fortnite, that's a good one for people who are listening. If you've not heard of it, look out for it. It's out next week on the 21st for early orders, but then it's out on the 25th properly. But it's a long time coming. 6 years they've been making it, and it looks brilliant. Check it out, Fortnite. It's really good.
And how about you, Sherman? What's your two, mate?
Do I have to just leave it at 2? Well, I play by the rules. Although it's really kind of difficult for me, but one of them definitely is Cuphead.
Yeah.
Just to see the growth of the game. I mean, when they first announced it, wasn't it 2014 when they first announced it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was back in 2014. So
everybody was like, what the hell is that?
It was just like boss battles, but now the footage that they've been leaking out, I mean, it's a full-on game. I mean, it's like a neo-retro version of Gunstar Heroes or something.
Yeah. It's definitely something that's never been seen before. That's the great thing about it. It's never been done before. A fully animated game. It's never been done like that. So yeah, I'll agree with you. Cuphead's another one I'd love to. Well, obviously I can only have two, but that's another one I'm looking forward to.
Well, I'm kind of hoping, to be truthful, I'm hoping that the game is successful enough, and I deep down I really believe that it will be. I'm hoping that it's successful to the point that they'll actually, it'll just spawn a whole franchise. That it'll become we get a Cuphead 2 or whatever. All
two series, to be honest.
I mean, but the problem with having a sequel to that game is that if they keep the same quality, we won't see another Cuphead.
Yeah, true.
I mean, just the amount of love that they've obviously poured into this. I mean, nothing is digitized. It's 100% hand drawn. I mean, I mean, seriously, who even does that anymore?
Yeah.
I mean, so
it's 24 frames that they have to make per second for each in animation, which it's 24 drawings, and there's so many different combinations of what you'd be able to do on screen. It boggles your mind. It really
exactly. And to me, it's like, what somebody said earlier, for that reason alone, everybody should go out and buy that game.
Yeah.
I mean, the amount of effort and love that they've put into that game, and that's what Spencer saw. That's what the team saw at Microsoft, and that's why they supported it. I think we need to do the same.
Prediction. I predict that when that game sells like crazy, Microsoft is going to buy them. That Microsoft is going to buy.
He did it with Undead Labs, because that was just another phenomenon as well. Like Undead Labs, like as soon as they saw, like what that game was like. So I bought it as soon as it came out, the indie, and I love that game. I can't wait for the second. So yeah, I could probably see that happening too as well, Sherman. To be honest.
Yeah. So that's my first choice. My second choice, and Chris, I don't mean to steal your thunder, but especially seeing that this is our premiere podcast, but I just got to do it. I can't help myself, and it's partially your fault.
It's all your fault, Chris.
No, it always is. It always is.
I've got some. Oh, Sea of Thieves.
Sea of Thieves.
Oh, yeah.
Man, I can't wait. Oh my! Every time, I give Rare huge props because of the way they've been dropping out the gameplay tidbits and backstage interviews, with the development team, and they've just been hilarious. By the way,
yes, they have. Yeah,
it just makes me play that game even more. And then the online aspect, the multiplayer. I mean, I don't think that the way they've got it set up, I don't think it's ever been done. I mean, just the way they fleshed everything out and the sense of community. I'm honestly, I really hope that all of us here, that we have our own pirate ship and we just.
I'm definitely getting Sea of Thieves. Definitely.
It's going to be one of those games though where it's going to be really, really silly, but it's going to be really rewarding in the fun factor.
Yeah.
A guy at work buying it for his PC, and I says, "You give me your Microsoft Live account, and I'll play with you." It's like it's going to be loads of fun, and anyone who goes it's rubbish. I remember someone in the previous podcast of the Dragon X saying, "Who's going to play that?" Really silly with your mom is. How can you say that no one's going to play it when they are?
Yes, they will. No.
That's going to be another huge franchise. That's going to be a big hit. I mean, big. That's going to. You know what? I think, truthfully, I really believe that Sea of Thieves could possibly be, to my knowledge, the first game that could crash Xbox Live.
Yeah, with the amount of people on play, definitely.
Yeah. You're a kid. I was going to pick that one.
Your move, Chris.
Well, my two favourite ones have all been picked. So you're a bunch of gits. So.
All right, same things.
Yeah, I mean, I've got to say it anyway. I'm going to say it. And Sea of Thieves is definitely out there. I've been doing the testing on that game, and it is just incredible. I love it. The only thing that I'm missing at the moment through doing the testing is being able to do it with friends, so I can't play it with people that I know very often, which is a bit of a pain because you really do need to communicate on that game. But it is just such good fun. I just love the art style. I love the fun factor of it. It's put the gameplay back in gaming. It's just fun to play. And I mean, you could say the same about the other EA one as well. Is it Skull and Bones?
Ubisoft.
Yeah, the Ubisoft one. That's it. I mean, that looks like it could be good fun, but I don't think it looks as fun as as much fun as
that
possible.
was
As much fun.
that, to be honest.
I reckon that one's more, it's the more polished version. What like the AAA version of it. It's like,
Yeah, to me, it's
not going to be as fun, is it?
I would say it's the more realistic, serious version, whereas Rare have got their own charm and the way that they make their games are fun and funny, and the games just the way they play. That's Rare. You can't capture that.
I mean, the thing with Rare is as well. I mean, they've designed this game from the ground up, and to me, Skull and Bones just looks like they've taken the sort of
Assassin's Creed,
the Black Flag combat of sea combat, and made a whole game around that. So
basically,
so yeah, definitely Sea of Thieves an Anthem.
Anthem.
Yeah, I mean, it just looks awesome. It's by BioWare, tried and tested. I love their games anyway. People slagged off the last Mass Effect. I loved it.
Andromeda, I put 119 hours into it.
Yeah, absolutely
awesome.
Love it.
It's an awesome game, don't care what anybody says.
People don't care about gameplay anymore. They care more about facial animation glitches, and they'll forgive sort of Skyrim and Fallout and
for all the bugs.
For all those bugs, which are outnumbered. The amount you can't count the amount.
Even though they still are really good games, but yeah, I know what you mean.
But they'll nitpick Mass Effect because some woman's got a funny facial animation, or I don't get it.
They might have killed off any other ones coming out just because of that. I hate the internet. It's
unfortunately,
that was annoying because of that.
Unfortunately, it's like I've said on the Dragon X podcast many times, any Muppet's got a computer and a phone these days, so any Muppet's got a license to write bollocks about things they've got no interest, they've got no sort of knowledge of, and that's how it goes.
I miss the times where you had to go to the shop to see what's coming out.
Yeah. In the old days when we used to like gaming, you had a magazine and you had to write to it. Nowadays, you just can write any old bollocks on the screen and people read it, and it's just unbelievable.
I remember the days where you'd buy a magazine to get your game demos.
Yes, you did.
I got one game on the on that PlayStation 1 called Future Cop LAPD, right?
Yeah, I remember that.
I must have played that game every single day. And then it took me. Do you know how long it took me to find it? Like after years of it releasing, it took me so long. I couldn't even get it on the internet. I had to go to like the one of the market shops in the town centre, and I saw it. I went, "Oh, gotta get it! Yeah. Dodgy Dave.
Oh dear. Anyway, I think on that point, gentlemen, we will we'll wrap our first podcast up. I think.
Yeah.
Next
time we'll get it a bit more.
Yeah, we'll get more prompt, and we'll be a little bit more organised next time. Now we know what we're doing. It's been a good 12 months since I've hosted a podcast, and obviously doing the Dragon X, it's all done for me. I just have to turn up. So, just one of those things.
I would never have guessed that it's been a whole year since you've hosted a podcast.
Been 2 years since I've been on. So, yeah.
So, Chris, just keep your shit. Don't say anything like that. Make people think you're a pro.
Well, I am a pro. That's why I can basically take 2 years off and still come out swinging. So it's all good.
Oh dear, but no, it's been great. It's been great to get
your mighty beard, Andrew.
Yeah,
yes, here it is in the flesh.
Showing. Jesus Christ!
That's how ugly I am, guys.
I didn't put a pre-warning up or anything.
You need one of those things, the hats with horns on. You proper Viking helmet.
I see pictures of that game God of War and I go, really? That's the best you've got, is it? Seriously, mate.
You call that a beard? This is a beard.
It's like you can even get filters with Kratos on it and everything. It's like, yeah, I didn't I haven't got a hipster beard. This is all fully grown.
Quite scary. I'm sat here at the moment staring at your beard. I'm less than a foot away from my screen, and it's a 42-inch telly, and all I've got is this.
What about that now? If you look closely, you can see the dinner of earlier.
Yeah, I was gonna say last night's dinner.
and a bird. Cuckoo.
Yeah.
I'll turn it off now. Scare people.
Anyway, it's been an absolute pleasure, guys. Yeah, we've had a few teething problems, but it's the first one back, so we'll get over those and get past all those heavy breathers and things like that have been going on tonight. At one point, I wasn't sure whether I was watching a podcast or a porno, but
no, it wasn't just me who could hear that heavy breathing.
No.
I thought it was all Drew. I thought, what's he watching?
I thought I was watching porn and it was through.
Somebody had their microphone far too close.
With that little bit of information, I was about to say that before the next podcast, I'll definitely have a new set of headphones with an excellent mic. But with that bit of information, I think I might stick with this broken headphone because, you know, you talking about all that breathing.
Oh dear. No, that's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So we'll say our goodbyes then, gentlemen. So if you want to just give yourself a goodbye and a shout out, Andy, we'll
Well, this is Andy Mack. I'm on Xbox as MacBeard86. I want to give a shout out to the people that I actually follow on YouTube: ERockX, Hebot, you, Chris, the Welsh Gamer, and all. I can't remember the others. Oh, and Sega Forever, because he said he's excited to watch this show, and yeah.
He must have nothing else to do if he's excited about watching this show.
all great guys. I mean, you know, Hebot, you can talk to that guy about games until like the sun comes up. It's just really interesting to chat to about games in general. And you know, Sega Forever, you can talk about films with him. You know, yourself, exactly the same setup, games, films. You know, and a shout out to the DX Mansion and Dorian Bumpus and all those guys, and even your group, Chris.
Yeah, the old Project Xbox.
End of the day, it's all about the community, and that's what we're doing here tonight, isn't it?
Definitely. It was great having you on, mate. I'm really chuffed that you were able to come on and be a permanent panel member, so I do appreciate it. Dale, my old friend, it's been great having you back on again. As always, you don't disappoint. You never run out of things to say.
Unfortunately, like I'm always the too chatty one. In fact, I think one of the first comments that you got on the first podcast was, "Doesn't he talk too much?" I remember that very well, even though it's 2 years ago. I remember that. It sticks with you. Yeah, I'd just like to say thanks for listening. If you lasted this long, you're a trooper. And just a shout out to like all the DX brothers and family there, and yeah, that's basically.
Are we going to do like another video to explain to everybody what you actually said?
I've hired somebody to stand at the bottom of the screen and do hand gestures for the next one.
Apparently, my accent is intelligible, so. I don't know what McBeardy's on about, but okay.
Oh dear. And lastly, the Shermanator, mate. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on. It's unfortunate that we couldn't hear you quite as much as we'd have liked to, so hopefully that'll be sorted out for next time.
No problem. Yeah, so just a quick shout out to my family, my wife for letting me use her tablet.
And probably a headset.
No, she doesn't have any headsets, so look, all the headsets I've got, they use those little itty bitty prongs, you know, the ones that nobody really uses anymore, and I haven't used them in years. So I'm thinking, oh, it'll fit, and it didn't. So, but like I said, I'll definitely have some new headsets by the next podcast. But yeah, just want to give a shout out to my family, I want to give a shout out to everybody over at Roscoe's Arcade, Detroit, Michigan. They've got a Facebook page, and I'm guessing that some of them have probably been checking us out tonight. So big shout out to them. I used to manage that arcade, by the way, when I was in Detroit. So just another bit of history. Without a doubt, big shout out to everybody at Project Xbox. I've come to think of us as family. So always have a blast whenever we get into some deep discussions or not so deep discussions. So just shout out to everybody that's listening. Hope everybody enjoyed tonight's show, and it will only get better from here. We promise, right, fellas?
Yeah, it will do. Definitely. Get better with practice.
I know I will.
No, the thing is, at the end of the day, guys, you've come on. I remember the first podcast I used to do. I used to shit my pants before I started. I honestly was a wreck. And the fact that you guys have come on, Del hasn't done one for a couple of years. Andy, you've never done one. You've never done one, and you've come on and you've done a show, and we've been talking for 2 hours nearly, and it just goes to show, when you've got a common interest, you can talk and you can do this sort of stuff. And after a while as well, doing it, you forget that you're doing a podcast and you're just having a chat with mates. So,
but the thing is, though, this common interest puts so many really issues that come up in the media all the time, like racism. You don't need racism if you're talking about gaming.
No, it's bollocks.
That's just an example,
Yeah, no, exactly.
It's like Steve said to me. It's like his political things. It's like. Yeah, you just toss it under the bed, don't you?
Yeah,
you separate it.
Yes.
Yep.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
And a lot of it, you don't need it anymore. You don't need, all these terminologies and stuff like that. It's like, no, just call yourself a gamer.
Right.
Too many labels in this world these days.
Yeah, definitely. We're all under the same bridge. Doesn't matter what ethnicity you are, what sexuality you are. We're all the same.
I mean, actually. I remember when the advert for the Xbox One X came out, right? And somebody on Facebook wrote in and go, haha, there's a woman who plays Xbox. And I was like, do you know what? I'd rather play with that girl than you, mate, to be quite honest.
Yeah, wouldn't we all?
A gamer's a gamer's a gamer. That's all it is.
Exactly.
That's right. Yep.
Exactly. That's all it comes down to. We're gaming, we're gaming fans. We love gaming. We love talking about gaming, and everybody that's watched the video and watches the podcast, etc. We appreciate it, and you're all gamers as well. That's why you watch them at the end of the day. So, thank you for taking the time to, get to the end of the podcast. We appreciate it.
If you survive this long.
I'll tell you what. I wouldn't have lasted without this Thatcher's Gold right now.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I wish I had some. But keep an eye on my channel and on my Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter, Microbox of X. Obviously, on my channel, that's why you're here. Checking Project Xbox, checking DX Mansion for announcements for the next podcast, which announcements will be coming out soon. I don't think we've really set in stone how many we're going to do, but we'll probably do at least 2 a month, I would hope. It's just a case of finding the times. Obviously, it's easier for Andy and Del and myself because we're in the UK, but Shermanator is in the States, so it's a bit harder trying to find a time that is sort of suitable for all of us. So for that reason, it may be, but we will do as many as we can, and we will talk as much as we can, and hopefully you guys will still tune in and watch. And my daughter's just clicked on as well, and she's watching. That's my 3rd viewer. We do appreciate it, and as I said, this is a community podcast. All the guys are new to this. They don't run YouTube channels. Dale used to, but he hasn't for some time. But Andy and Shermanator don't do anything like that, so this is the first thing for them. It's all going to be good. It's all going to get better. So thanks for watching, and we will see you on the next podcast, which will be announced very shortly. Take care. Thanks for watching.